Hey guys, it's Maisie and today I am going to be doing the gender tag. I have my questions and whatnot on here, so I'm going to be looking down here a lot just to see the questions and whatnot, because I feel that although I am cis, this is a very important topic to be talking about and to keep the conversation flowing and stuff, so yeah. Question 1 is, how do you self-identify your gender and what does that definition mean to you? I personally identify as a cisgendered female, which, in case you're unaware, is I was born female, I have female assets, and sorry my laptop fell. I have female assets, and mentally I classify myself as female, and I've never really, I guess, 100% considered anything else. I don't know if that's just because how I was brought up or if not, but I'm pretty comfortable in being female. But to me this definition also means that I'm incredibly privileged in the fact that I don't have to face really bad discrimination in terms of my gender just because I am cis, I guess, because I know that in a lot of countries you can be, like, a lot of stuff can be done if you're like trans or non-binary, and I think that that's so wrong, and I hope that in the next like upcoming years that we learn not to do that to people, because at the end of the day you're a person and no one deserves to be treated like that regardless of their gender. The second question is, what pronouns honour you? I go with she and her pronouns. I think that's kind of explanatory because of what I said a minute ago, but yeah, that's about it. Number 3 is, describe the style of clothing that you most often wear. I suppose in the way that I present myself in terms of clothing, I'm quite masculine because my most common outfit is skinny jeans, a pair of Vans, a t-shirt and a beanie. Although I do love to wear dresses and skirts and feel classically feminine sometimes, I just feel a lot more comfortable in those type of clothes, and you'll most commonly see me in like the guys section, guys clothes shouldn't have gender, just throwing that out there, of like stores and stuff, because everything's just so much comfier and it just feels nicer. Number 4 is, talk about the choices with your body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? Really? What do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? I personally choose to shave my legs, armpits and like other classical places, I guess, plainly because for me personally hair makes me feel kind of unclean and I really don't like that feeling. And I just like the feeling of like my body being smooth and it's all nice. Really, my laptop keeps falling off my lap and I don't like it. It's got a laptop, stay there. But in terms of the hair on my head, I've always kind of had longish hair. I think the shortest I've had it is like the length it is when it's in a ponytail, like these bits down, maybe like here-ish when I was about 9 or 10. And I've always wanted kind of a classical, I guess, guy's flippy fringe because one of my best friends, his older brother, used to have it when I was little, and I was always like, wow, that haircut looks really cool, I'd love to have that. But then I've just never had the confidence to do it, because when I had my hair cut like there when I was younger, I'm still regretting it now because I want longer hair. I like to have a full dose of hair on my head because it's rather thin and I like to be able to do stuff with it and go crazy with it. Yeah. Number 5 is, talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? I use makeup on a daily basis, and although they're not really too painted now, I like to have my nails painted, plainly because they make me feel more self-confident and comfortable in my own skin. Like makeup, if I don't wear it, I'm always asked, hey Maisie, you ill? Are you like, is there something wrong with you? I'm like, no, it's just my face. And in terms of soaps and in terms of soaps and perfumes, most of my soaps come from Lush, plain because most of it is vegan and all of it is cruelty free, and I use basically any perfume that smells good. and hopefully it's cruelty free, because I'm very much into the animals cruelty free, yeah, although a lot of my products aren't because I bought them a long while ago, and oh wow, light, and a lot of them just aren't because of that reason, because yeah. Number 6 is, have you ever been misgendered? If so, how often? I have never been misgendered, plainly because I think the way that I look is quite feminine, and no one ever really questions that, which I think is kind of wrong, because if I didn't tell you my pronouns or my gender, I could be male or I could be anywhere on the non-binary spectrum and you wouldn't know and you'd just be assuming. So what I think is that when you meet someone, just like you ask someone's name, you ask their pronouns. Because you could go for a long time misgendering someone, and I've heard that that can be one of the single worst feelings ever, and I can completely understand why. It's like someone's getting a part of your identity wrong. It's like someone's come up to me, oh, so how's your brown hair going today? And it's just not true, I guess. That was probably an extremely bad metaphor, and I am extremely sorry for that. It was all in good intentions, I guess, yeah. Number 7 is, do you experience dysphoria, and how does that affect you? I personally don't experience dysphoria as far as I'm aware, but I've always kind of, when I was younger, I used to look and be like, wow, I wonder what I'd be like if I was a boy, or now I'm even like, I'm never 100% sure in anything in case later on in life I decide that that isn't quite who I am, so I decide not to be 100% on anything. Although I do identify as female at the moment, later on in the future I may become really uncomfortable with that, which is why I always keep my options open in case something inside of me does change and I decide that female is not who I am. Number 8 is, talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? At the moment, I'm a long way off of considering children, seeing as I'm like 14, so I'm not even able to legally have sex, so that's a thing. And I think, yeah, I would love to be a mother of a child. I'm not quite sure if I'd want to carry my own, because that just isn't really something I've had to think about at the moment because of my age. However, I would like to be one of the main caretakers of my child, plainly because I just have a very mothery instinct. Like, I'm just like, children, look at them, they're crying, pooping pieces of vomiting flesh, but somehow they form to be something like you and I, which I think is quite beautiful. Number 9 is, talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? Okay, so apparently my card just ran out, so I'm gonna have to finish this question really quickly. But yeah, for me it's important as a feminist that I do bring in money to support a family that I may have in the future, because I want equality. So I'm not too bothered, sorry, I'm moving this. I'm not too bothered which partner brings in more money. I just like to know that we're both bringing in a contribution to support each other, because that's just something I believe in personally. And as far as dates go, I've never been on one. However, I wouldn't mind who paid for who, as long as maybe say for instance I was to pay for the first date, I'd like said person to pay for the next date and so on. Does that make sense? Or we just split it halves? Yeah. Sorry, my card became full and I had to put some stuff of it onto my computer so I could continue filming. But what? It doesn't offend me at all when people offer to pay for things for me, plainly because I do it a lot for other people, and I don't think that's down to my gender or how I present myself. I think that's most of the time down to people being nice. Well, I'd hope it is anyway. And it doesn't really bother me when people do that, I guess. Oh yeah. And number 10 is, anything else you want to share about your experience with gender? The only thing that I would like to share is the fact that if you don't identify as a gender, or you don't identify with the biological sex you were assigned at birth, then that is okay. It's perfectly fine to identify as something different to how society wants you to conform, and it's perfectly okay, and that's the only thing I guess I want to say. That was verdict. The gender tag was originally created by Ashley Wilde, and I will give a link to her channel down in the description, and I'll give a link to also the website that kind of has all of the questions and everything like that on here in case you want to do it as well. But all I want to say is we really need to keep the conversation going about stuff like this, because it is so important. Even if you're cisgendered, if you're trans, if you're anywhere on the binary spectrum, we need to keep this going, because it's so important to kind of educate people on this kind of topic, so that everything bad that may have happened to other people maybe starts to stop happening to others. I think that's all I really have to say for today. I hope you had a good day, and if not, I hope it gets a lot better soon. Yeah. Bye.